My name is Olivia Price, and I'm a student in the Global Business class here at GCU, and this is my presentation. The country I'm focused on is Costa Rica. You can see on the map and the picture on the right where it is located. And Costa Rica is a colony residing in the region of Central America. Spain first colonized in Costa Rica in 1561. However, Columbus did discover it in 1502, but due to issues with disease and resistance, the permanence of establishing it was deferred until Spain came in 1561. Colonization occurred for many reasons. First, it allowed for an expansion of the Spanish Empire. This allowed for the culture to be spread amongst others. Another reason for colonization is that Costa Rica is a prime location for Spain. This is because it allows them to take control in many ways, in many areas, due to the central location of the country. Spain left a solid impact on Costa Rica by promoting their culture and allowing for more Hispanic food, language development, and made it feel like any other Hispanic country by also providing some of their architecture. The three aspects of globalization have had a large impact on Costa Rica as a country. First off, they've created a diverse economy which now includes groups from LGBTQ to general organizations. Second, they have attracted a foreign direct investment. This allowed for more countries to invest in more projects in Costa Rica. When it comes to political globalization, Costa Rica also made its mark here. For starters, they've gained a role of mediators by standing as a neutral and peaceful country when it comes to conflicts between those in their region and within the democracy. Next, they have become known as one of the oldest democracies in Latin America. Finally, we move on to cultural globalization. As previously mentioned, the culture of Costa Rica was formed when Spain colonized there and reformed it to fit their culture. Second to that, schools have begun adapting to other cultures by teaching students more than the culture that they're familiar with. These points are what sums up the key parts of globalization in Costa Rica. When it comes to the pros and cons of globalization, there are points to both. Starting with pros, the main one is the opportunity globalization gives Costa Rica for trade. Without globalization, Costa Rica would not be able to trade as much as they are used to. The second pro is technology. Costa Rica is now a huge hub for technological advancements and tech companies. Finally, the diverse culture that occurs from globalization is also a major pro. This allows for such a welcoming community and environment. Moving on to the cons, the first one is the harm that globalization may cause to the environment. It's becoming much harder to balance economic growth while also conserving the environment. The second and final con mentioned is the impact on local businesses. With globalization becoming so big, local businesses often have it hard when trying to find customers because most people are trading or going elsewhere. The impact this has on development is overall positive. It's caused immense economic growth and also promoted human development as these facts are being implemented in schools now. Johnson & Johnson is one of the several multinational corporations that conducts business in Costa Rica. They entered the country due to the strategic location and stable environment. The location allows them to center themselves in the world and allow for more attraction from countries who may not be willing to go as far as other countries that they have established themselves with. The stable environment ensured them that business would be safe and steady. As far as challenges, there weren't many at all. The only one potential challenge was deciding where to produce the next manufacturing plant and deciding factors upon that. Several opportunities came up with Johnson & Johnson installing a plant. They allowed for expansion of their company to another country as well as enhancement in their manufacturing. Two international institutions that Costa Rica is a part of are the United Nations and the International Monetary Fund, or the IMF. Costa Rica became a part of the United Nations in 1945. The main effect that the United Nations has on Costa Rica is the promotion of human rights. The International Monetary Fund has several effects as well. For starters, the Economic Reform Program is supported by the IMF, which provides the country with financial assistance. The second effect is social protection. The fund prioritizes some of their spending on social protection programs in order to promote it. Finally, economic growth is another impact that results from IMF. This growth comes from the programs provided by IMF and shows just how positive it is for the country. A significant trade bloc that Costa Rica belongs to is the EU Central America Association Agreement. This agreement has several key components. The first one is the elimination of import tariffs. This agreement eliminates most of these, which allows for less costly and easier trade. Second is trade facilitation. The agreement hopes to increase the speed and efficiency of trade procedures to make for more efficient trade overall, especially in the customs process. Finally, the agreement focuses on market access. It improves the access to investment, which in turn allows for easier trade, more business opportunities, and protection for Costa Rica. Overall, the EU Central America Association Agreement is very helpful to Costa Rica and provides them with many opportunities. Costa Rica's main trade partner is the United States. As far as imports go, their main partners are China and Mexico behind the United States. For exports, the Netherlands and Belgium are their main partners. Although I only mentioned a few of the top countries, Costa Rica is involved in trade with many others, though. Moving on to popular import and export goods, we start with export goods. These include precision instruments, fruits and nuts, and prepared foods. This isn't surprising considering these are fairly popular items, though. For import goods, the most popular were electrical machinery, oil and mineral fuels, and industrial machinery. Again, this isn't shocking, knowing that these are necessities that Costa Rica can provide for other countries. Overall, the exchange rate fluctuation influences trade by changing the volume of trade, influencing the trade balance, and the overall economic relationship between Costa Rica and its trading partners. Overall, I decided to choose Costa Rica because I feel it is often a place that people immediately think of when they think of tropical, a beach, or even a vacation. And although this is very true, Costa Rica does a lot more than just provide a beach for your vacation. As does every country, they do a lot of work behind the scenes and coincide with many partners to complete their stable economy. We also often don't consider how our own country interacts with other countries. And by completing this presentation, this was very eye-opening and insightful in that aspect. We often think that our country rules over others because we just know enough about it that we're not informed enough about what other countries are doing for us. So, by looking more into what Costa Rica provides for other countries, it helps you to realize just how much of an impact other countries have on our country to make us as successful as we are. And a fun fact that I found, Costa Rica actually has over 200 volcanic formations. And along with thinking of that, it is smaller than Lake Michigan. If you think about Lake Michigan, having 200 volcanoes on there is pretty crazy. I personally live close to Lake Michigan, so this was very surprising for me. Thank you for listening to my presentation.